Donald Trump's new tariffs are now in effect. They include a whopping 104% duties on all Chinese goods entering the U.S. Trump thinks China will have to make a deal as the U.S. is its biggest market. China, though far, standing firm, and the situation is ramping up to an escalating trade war that's been causing shock waves in the markets. For the very latest on this now, let's bring in France 24's Washington correspondent Fraser Jackson. Fraser, it's still very early there now, but we have heard that China has slapped on these retaliatory tariffs, 84%, that's 50% more than it was before, and this starting tomorrow.
Yes, this is not going to go down well with the stock markets, which of course have been yo-yoing for the last few days and have been sliding before that. Well, this news before the market opens likely to impact things when that bell first rings at the beginning of trading. But of course, China, therefore, not backing down. Donald Trump says that China wanted to make a deal with the United States, but they didn't know how. I think this move shows that China is not in the position that it wants to make a deal, and it is ready to go until the end, as they said in their statements just 24 hours ago. This extra 50% then, a retaliation to the 50% that Donald Trump added on top of the US's reciprocal tariffs, which took that number up to 104%. China's now, with the tariffs, is 84%, and that's going to impact a massive amount of goods. Last year, the US did over $440 billion worth of imports from China, and that covers everything from textiles to electronics, machinery, things like nuclear reactors even come from China. So it's going to have a significant impact on the US economy as well. We are also hearing from Reuters news agency that China is discussing this week amongst its top leaders how to stimulate its own economy in response to this now trade war with the United States. And of course, it's not just China that's in this position. The EU itself is also preparing to announce retaliatory tariffs as well on US steel and aluminium. Interesting and important to note that it's not related to the reciprocal tariffs which came into effect at midnight today that the Donald Trump administration has put on the EU, but this is to do with the steel and aluminium tariffs that took place just a couple of weeks ago. But the US so far not making any real friends among its friends at the moment, and the markets are certainly going to reflect that once they open in just a few hours' time.
Right. And on top of all of that, it seems like there's actually been some cracks that are starting to show within the Trump administration itself. I'm thinking particularly of that big blow up on X between Elon Musk and Trump's top trade advisor.
Yeah, Elon Musk, who of course has been one of Donald Trump's key backers, has not been a fan of these tariffs. We heard from reporting in the Washington Post that he'd asked Donald Trump numerous times not to put these tariffs in place because he thought it was going to be an act of economic self-harm. And indeed, Elon Musk himself has also been very heavily impacted by these tariffs. It's estimated that he's lost over $35 billion worth of value, meaning that his value is now less than $300 billion for the first time since the election, really. Well, he has been sparring on X, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and of course the platform that he owns. He's been sparring publicly with Peter Navarro, who's Donald Trump's top trade advisor. Peter Navarro is somebody that Donald Trump has looked to for years and whose fingerprints are all over this economic outreach plan that Donald Trump has put in place over the course of the last week or so, and the two men have been going at each other's throats, really. Elon Musk in the last couple of days has called Navarro as dumb as a sack of bricks. So no love lost, really, between those two men. Navarro has been pushing back against Elon Musk online, but also on television as well. So there is a rift starting to show here in the White House. Of course, Elon Musk, we are told, will be on the outs from the White House very soon. His contract time is technically running out at the end of May, but he's also been somewhat distant from the headlines over the course of the last couple of weeks. Asked about this rift, Caroline Levitt, the press secretary at the White House, tried to play things down and said simply, boys will be boys.
Fraser, thank you for that. Some incredible things that are coming out of the White House right now. That's our Fraser Jackson, our Washington